Hello, hello there, everyone. Patricia Hayes here with your Coffee Time Career Chat. I'm super excited to be here with you, especially after the drought of last week when unfortunately I was out ill. So we are playing catch up this week, and I'm super excited. So, for those of you who are joining for the very first time, let me introduce myself. Again, my name is Patricia Hayes. I am an executive advisor, career empowerment coach, and authentic networking strategist. And all that means is I love helping women, female entrepreneurs, business women, and professional women who are looking to transition and up level in their careers. Well, I help them to do it in a way that's fully empowered and making sure that they are leveraging all of their resources, including their professional network, in a way that is authentic, that's aligned with their values, and that is purposeful. So, that said, we are finishing up our series here today where we are talking about planting those networking seeds. And today is one of my favorites. It's the conclusory part of the whole series, which is the power of the follow up, because unfortunately, way too many people miss the golden nuggets that happen when you follow up. So, we're going to talk about some of those strategies and the rationales for making sure that you engage and follow up. And this is just a taste. So I encourage you also to keep an eye out for the full masterclass of this series, which is maximizing your networking opportunities, where I take each of these issues and we go through them in a 75 to 90-minute time frame. You get all in depth on each one. You can purchase each of the masterclasses individually, or you could buy the whole bundle. So I encourage you to go check it out. Find the rest of this series on my YouTube channel, and you can get to that by just clicking on the Linktree link in my bio. Got to get all of that out of the way in case you have to step away at the end. All right, so here we are. We're jumping into the planting your networking seeds and the power of the follow up. So I really, really like to stress how important this is. As I've worked with individual clients and with groups, I am always amazed at folks who were like, yeah, I kind of started or I didn't, or I started down this path, but it just didn't seem like it was going to do much. And I'm like, so you're telling me you never followed up? You never made the phone call? You never sent the email, whatever the thing is. And here is my philosophy: you don't know what you're missing if you don't even put it out there, right? If you've taken the time and the effort to get to a certain point in a relationship, in a project, or whatever it may be, and you don't do the follow up, you are missing out on the potential of what could be. Now, is every situation going to result in some aha moment? No. But what does happen is, and I've seen it happen over and over again, where something that you thought was a dud later on takes bloom, and all of a sudden someone's reaching out to you that you weren't expecting. And this is why you cannot take these moments for granted, and why I say it is always so important to make sure to close the loop, do the follow up, and then move along. Okay. So, three points I want to make. The first is that planting requires nurturing for growth. I'm not going to get into the whole analogy, but it's very clear, right? If you've got a plant, you've got, trees, whatever, you have to feed them, you have to nurture them, you have to make sure they have enough light, enough water, enough oxygen, whatever. They need to have those things. The same applies to your professional relationships. If you have started down that road and then you don't feed it by following up, by checking in on people, by sharing information, that relationship is going to die. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Until you get to a point where the relationship can sustain not having, constant touches, you have to do a few things, and that requires doing some nurturing, especially as you're planting that initial seed, right? So that means if you say you're going to follow up with a call, follow up with a call. If you say you're going to follow up with an email, follow up with the email. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, they don't respond, so why does it matter? It always matters because you initiated it, right? You initiated, you did your part. Now, whether the other person does their part, that you don't have any control over that. You have control over whether you do your part. Do your part. Okay? Send the email this month, send the email next month. Make an effort, leave a voicemail. Whatever it is, show up to the meeting, show up to the event, invite someone over, all of those things that include nurturing. Now, some people say, I can't do all of that all the time. I'm not asking you to. Anyone who follows me knows I have a 3 to 5 person rule, which is reaching out to 3 to 5 people a week. And that can include people already in your network. A lot of times, I encourage you to do that with new people when you're trying to build your network. But either way, having that, and we'll talk about that in the next point, will help you to establish routine and to make sure that you are being active in your nurturing, not passive. Okay. Very important to stay active in your nurturing routine. Okay. So, and when you nurture, things grow. It's just as plain and simple as that. Right. And so don't beat yourself up if you're like, oh, but I haven't talked to these people in 2 months, 5 months, 2 years. It doesn't matter. If you think the relationship is worth salvaging or building, then reach back out. Say, hey, I'm sorry I haven't kept up. Things fell behind. Whatever the deal is, be authentic, be genuine, and reach back out. Okay, that's the first thing. Remember that planting requires nurturing for growth, so you must nurture your professional relationships. Second point, consistency is key. We're talking about quality over quantity here. That's why I don't tell people, oh my gosh, go out and go meet 10, 15, 20 people this week, right? If you can sustain that, then do it. I tell people all the time when I first started out, that's what I was doing. But remember, those many years ago, I was a registered lobbyist, and that was my job solely to stay connected. So, in order to maintain what I was doing in my previous position, as I moved out on my own, I had to set some higher goals in order to keep the flow going. Okay. I'm not saying that's for everyone. That's not for everyone. It is hard to sustain, right? But whatever you do, start and be consistent. And this is why I emphasize my 3 to 5 people routine over each week, because it adds up over time. If you do simple touches and reaching out to 3 to 5 new people or people in your existing network every week, it doesn't have to be time consuming, it doesn't have to be long and involved. Like I said, this is quality over quantity. Even before the pandemic, when I did go to happy hours, which I detest, right? I'm always very open about the fact that I'm not a fan of happy hours. So if I went, I was always being very deliberate. I was going to go chat with a certain number of people or that I expected to be there or to connect, show my face, whatever, and get out. Okay. I was doing it with a purpose. I never just went in trying to collect 50 business cards. Like by the time we got to right before the start of the pandemic, if I didn't even own business cards because I was going to connect with you in depth and we were either going to share LinkedIn profiles, I was going to collect your number, something else with a more personal type. And that means I had to engage in conversations with people. That means I had to slow down and I was not just collecting business cards. Someone gave me their card, that's fine. That's their choice. But I wasn't handing out a whole bunch of cards. I wasn't handing out any cards at that point. Okay. So here's the thing, and I know that is completely against conventional wisdom, but here's the reason why. 5 high quality contacts and relationships that you make or that you initiate in an environment like that are way better than 50 business cards of people you don't even remember. Okay. So remember, quality over quantity, be deliberate, be consistent. And the easy way to track that is, like I said, if you are keeping a journal in your calendar, a tracking system of 3 to 5 people that you reach out to. I have years worth of journals where I've done this, literally. So I do it a little more informally now. I probably need to get back to my more formal thing because I've been doing so much more contact over online. But in any case, I still track. Okay. So I encourage you to dive in and think about it. Think about how you can be deliberate and how you can be consistent, because that helps to feed the following up that is going to be so powerful and purposeful for you as you move along. All right. That's the second thing. Okay. The third thing is I want you to be a top 1 percenter in this. Here's the thing, I don't know what the current ratios are, but there was some research years ago that indicated that the large majority of people, we're like 90, 95% people, do not follow up. They don't follow up on projects or connections, whatever. They don't do the follow up. Why? Because they don't want to do the work. So if you want to be in the top 1%, do the work. And the thing is, it's really not hard work, but it does require effort. If you want to build and create a career with vision, and you want to build and create a business that's sustainable over time, do the work. The relationships that you build and create matter. There are relationships that I have in place now that are 10, 20, 30 years old. And many of those, I may see these people or talk to them once or twice a year at most. And it may even be through, LinkedIn or text message or whatever. But I stay connected with people, right? I know when I can reach out to certain people to say, hey, I have this idea. I have this person who needs this help. What do you know about this? All right. This is not about overkill or making it hard on yourself, but doing work that matters, that will sustain you over time. So that as you grow in your career, as you grow in your business, you have relationships that provide a solid foundation and will help you at those moments that you least expect it. Those are the most fantastic things that I love for my clients to be able to come back and tell me that, hey, I did this and you will never believe who called me back. I wasn't even expecting that. It matters. Put in the effort, do the work. That's what I encourage you to do. Because as I always say, the gold is in the follow up. Those golden nugget moments that come up later when you least expect it are what will feed your momentum. And you're like, oh, okay, let me get back on track and do the thing. I've been doing this for decades as part of my career and part of the work that I've always done. And as I help others, train others, coach others in having a more empowered career journey and in the work that they do for their business, this is one of the things that I cannot stress enough is to continue to put in the effort in those places where most people will not, so that you can have the success that most people will not. And this is one of those areas. Do the work, be consistent, nurture your network, and I tell you, you will not regret it. Okay? That's what I have for you today. It's been great checking in with you. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to starting a new group of things in April. We'll have a little chat. If you have some topics, concerns, issues that you would love for me to talk about, please hit me up in the DMs. Let me know. I love hearing from you about whatever career transition issues you're having. What are those networking and relationship building issues you're having on the job or as you're trying to transition? Because I want to make sure that this work remains relevant to what you are experiencing right now today. And I want to make sure that you are getting what you need along the way. All right. Take care, and I will talk with you again soon. Bye bye.